In a day and age where cars are getting fatter, heavier and more electric, all I want to do is get into a Lotus and head to a racetrack. So in the absence of my car, which is currently in bits, I opted for this 2017 Lotus Exige 350 Sport. Now there's a lot of questions online about how the two cars compare, other than obviously in price and age. At the time of filming, you'll pay an extra £10,000 to £15,000 for a 410, but what exactly does that money get you? The 350 has, as the name suggests, 350 horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque out of a 3.5 litre V6 supercharged engine. You'll get from 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds and a top speed of 170 miles per hour. The 410, on the other hand, has, again, as the name would suggest, 410 horsepower, 420 newton meters of torque out of the same V6 engine, a 0 to 60 of about 3.4 seconds and a top speed of 180 miles an hour. Now, Lotus is all about lightweight, and this car weighs in at just 1,125 kilos, which is 51 kilos lighter than the previous S, but slightly heavier than the 410, which does weigh 1,108 kilos. All of the V6 Exige models are styled very, very similar. You just need to know what to look for in terms of detail. So the 410 has slightly more carbon. You've got the front access panel, splitter, roof, boot lid, as well as a spoiler. It's got a slightly different design on the front and then also a different design spoiler as well. Boot space, just as rubbish as all other Lotus. However, it does have hydraulic arms, which my car does not have. Jealous. Right, let's take a look inside. Show you all how it's done getting into a Lotus. Ta-da! In true Lotus fashion, there is not a lot to talk about on the interior of these cars. They are pretty bare, you don't get a load of creature comforts or anything like that. But what you do get is these really nice black leather seats. Love the blue stitching on these. You've got the Lotus badge stitched in the headrest, and then you've also got the blue detail around the harness hole things. Also, the driver's seat in this car is heated, which I have never ever seen in an Exige or an Elise before, ever. So that's cool. My car does not have that either. We've got the exposed gear linkage, which my car has, and I absolutely love this. I think this is the first model to get it, so that's pretty cool. And then you've also got the colour-coded surround around the outside of the gear stick and also the aircon buttons. In terms of storage, there is not a lot, to be honest, but again, Lotus life is what it is. I think you've got cup holder here, a little cubby hole there, and a couple of little cubby holes on each side of the car above the sills. That's it, there's no other storage. Then we've got crappy radio, again, Lotus life, and this car hasn't got the aim dash like mine has. You've just got the speedo and the rev counter, but again, really nice, simple design. Just hasn't got all the stuff that the aim dash has, which is really cool. So the aim dash also has a race mode, so it's got lap timer and stuff in it, which you haven't got with this car. But this is a more road going car compared to the 410s, so expected. We've also then, to the right of the steering wheel, got the start stop button, sport and race modes, same as the 410, and then you have the heated seat button, which is just blowing my mind right now. I've never seen this in an Exige or an Elise. I'm very excited about it. Right, that's it on the interior. I told you there wasn't really much to talk about, so let's take it for a drive. Just want to point out, this car has got a ragtop. Now what I mean by ragtop is essentially it makes it a convertible. So in the Elise you get a soft top in that, whereas the Exiges typically come with a hard top as standard. And I keep saying that I need to put a soft top on my car because it's so much nicer in summer instead of 10 minutes of unbolting bolts and taking the thing off and then having to store it and all that sort of stuff. This, you've got two little clips just here and here that you pull in together, and then you can just roll the roof off, take the little metal poles off and stick it in the boot or behind your seat. It's really good. Right, so in terms of driving mode, you've got normal, which is what the car starts on. So when you turn the car on, it will be in normal. You've then got sport, which gives you a little bit more throttle and also a little bit less traction. And then you've also got race, which it says that it turns the traction control off, but it doesn't. And you've also got a little bit more throttle. In terms of stability though, with that traction control, it's still... Right, on the road you'll never notice it, but on a track it's a little bit invasive sometimes, especially in the wet. Now, there's been a couple of times in my car where I've been going around a corner in the wet and I've wanted the car to slide a little bit and the car won't allow you to. So actually, it's a very safe and controlled car to drive. It gives you a lot of confidence. You can pretty much jump into it and drive it and you're not going to do yourself too much damage. Other key differences between this and the 410 is that, number one, this doesn't come standard with the nitrons, whereas the 410 does. Also, the exhaust is much quieter on this. It still sounds really good. I will fight to the death that Lotus make the best sounding V6 noise, but the 410 is too loud to get onto most tracks, whereas this, I think it'll be alright. It doesn't seem that loud compared to my car, if I'm totally honest. And even with my car, with the track exhaust on it, it doesn't sound as loud. So that's good. You've also got the differences in specs, as I discussed earlier, but the biggest thing for me, which I know is a little nerdy thing, but I love this in my car, you haven't got the throttle cable thing in the back windows. So when you press the throttle in the 410s and the newer Exiges, and also the Evora 400 does it, I know that because I had one, the throttle cable moves and you can see it flapping. And that's really, really cool, but you don't get that in this. So you're kind of, I mean, I guess it's good because you're not distracted by that, but still, like, that is a big difference for me. As always, the heel and toe position is utterly spot on, certainly for me. You also, as I have in my car, have the same issue in that I am short and I can't reach the clutch pedal to turn the car on. Have to really lean forward to get it. Also, when you're strapped in the seat, now it's not a big deal when you've got seat belts, but when you're in harnesses, and again, you've got short arms like I have, trying to reach the headlights is a pain. But other than that, these cars are actually really comfortable on the road. You can pretty comfortably do a long road trip in them, a long drive. I've driven to Spa and back in my car, driven all over Europe in this car, and I've never had any issues. The only thing is that you do kind of need a support vehicle to carry all your bags because you can't fit a lot in it. You can basically, if you want to take a suitcase or a large bag, you can fit either your large bag or suitcase, and you'll be lucky to get a suitcase in it, to be fair, comfortably, but you can either fit your large bag or suitcase or a passenger. You cannot fit both. Now, you don't buy a Lotus for creature comforts, luxury, driving fast in a straight line, being able to talk to whoever is next to you, being far away from whoever is next to you. You cannot get in these cars with someone that you don't particularly like. But what you drive a Lotus for is to absolutely dominate on a track and the twisty roads. Now, in the absence of a track, as I do not have one today, unfortunately, let's go and find a twisty road. I'll be back in a sec. Right, found a twisty road. Let's go. So, interestingly, that doesn't actually feel like it's lacking any power at all. Sticks to the road just like mine does. Oh, push on through those corners, lovely. If you've ever driven a Lotus, you'll know how well they handle, and it is literally, it seems to just defy anything that's logical. They shouldn't handle that well, but they just do. The feedback through the steering wheel, it really is just the most engaging thing ever. You in the car, nothing else, and an open road. It's just wonderful. Just so planted. You just get round the corner. Doesn't matter what speed you're doing, you get round it. I can't even get to the limit of my car on a track, and it's me. I'm the problem. I know the car will do whatever I want it to do. It's I get scared before the car does, and I've never had that with a car before. And these are just, yeah, Exiges are incredible. Fun factor, I'm gonna go with a 9 or 10. To be fair, it feels more, oh, that noise. It feels more than fast enough for the road. I'd say if you were using it for track, you probably would want the extra bit of power, but 350 horsepower out of something that weighs absolutely sod all on the road is absolutely fine. You don't need any more than that. Handles wonderfully. You'll pretty much beat anything on a B road, including supercars that have got way more power. It's just the way it gets the power down is like nothing else on this planet. Lotuses do handling better than anyone else, other than, you know, out and out race cars. But obviously when it comes to race cars for the road, you do have to give up a little bit of practicality. So again, I think I have already given a score on this in my car, but I am going to give it a practicality score of like a 2 or 3. As I said, you can either fit a passenger or stuff in the passenger seat. You've got no other seats. You really haven't got that much space in the boot. You have to sort of like push everything down. If you've got like kind of gym bags, like the overnight gym bags, you can fit those in okay, as long as they squish down, but you wouldn't be able to fit a suitcase in there really. So yeah, would you daily one? I dailied my Elise for 7 years. I probably would, but then I am the kind of nut job that will daily anything. However, I would much prefer to get into something like the Tesla that we have at home rather than this on a daily basis. In terms of my car or this car, I actually think, right, for the money, this is so good. And the noise, I do actually really miss that noise. But this is so good for the road, and it's actually, I think, a lot more comfortable than my car is. But my car has essentially been turned into a race car now. But for something on the road, for, you know, you're sort of looking at 50 grand, I think road race car and track car, you're not going to beat this. So would I spend the extra 15 grand on the 410, which I already did, to be fair, but for a road race car, this is perfect. For 50 grand, you get so much car for the money. But you do get a lot more carbon on the 410. You also get, in my opinion, a better looking wing and front end. I much prefer the wing and the front end on the 410, and even more so on the 430. But in terms of how it drives and real world on a road, you wouldn't really notice the difference. This handles exactly like the 410 does. It's brilliant, and I'd say it's much more comfortable than the 410. So if I was doing it again and I didn't want to turn the 410 into a race car, would I be happy with one of these? And I would say the answer is absolutely yes. Yes, I would, definitely. So if you can't quite stretch to the 60 to 70 grand budget for a 410, I would suggest you go out and buy yourself one of these instead. Do it. And actually, I would suggest you go and buy one of these in this colour, because this colour is utterly stunning. Like, I don't even think that the video is going to do it justice. It's gorgeous. Oh, I'm really looking forward to picking up my car now. So, for anyone wondering, my car is currently having some upgrades ready for the time attack season this year, which I'll be documenting. I'll also be doing a video in the next couple of weeks once it's back with the changes that I've made to it. And yeah, it's gonna be a good year, I think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything in future. Drop us a comment to let us know what you'd like us to review in the future. We have got a load of stuff coming up this year, so please do subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.